Welcome back. You're watching Express News with me, Deepika. Let's quickly begin. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday replied to the motion of thanks to the President's address in Rajya Sabha, India's upper house of the Parliament. In his speech, the Prime Minister criticized the previous Congress government. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that in the 10 years of Congress, the Indian economy was in fragile 5. On the other hand, in our 10 years, India has been one of the top 5 economies. India's President Draupadi Murmu met with Guyana's Prime Minister Mark Phillips on Wednesday. Guyana's Prime Minister arrived in India on Tuesday to further strengthen the multifaceted relationship between the two countries. India's Home Minister Amit Shah said his government is committed to building impenetrable borders. It has decided to construct a fence along the entire 1,643 kilometers long Indo-Myanmar border to facilitate better surveillance. Out of the total border length, a 10-kilometer stretch in Moreh, Manipur, has already been fenced. Furthermore, 2 pilot projects of fencing through a hybrid surveillance system are under execution. The Indian government on Tuesday issued an advisory to its citizens travelling to or based in Myanmar's Rakhine region not to travel to that region in view of the deteriorating security situation. Myanmar is facing disruption of means of telecommunication and severe scarcity of essential commodities. Indian citizens who are already in Rakhine state are advised to leave the state immediately. With an aim to boost cooperation in the field of agriculture, the first meeting of India and Iran Joint Working Group was held in the national capital in New Delhi. During the meeting, officials of India and Iran emphasized on increasing cooperation in the field of balancing the import and export of agricultural products between the two nations. With an aim to further strengthen India-Bangladesh ties, Bangladesh Foreign Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood arrived in New Delhi on Wednesday on a 3-day visit to India. The Uniform Civil Code Uttarakhand 2024 bill was passed in the State Assembly on Wednesday. After passing the UCC bill in the Assembly, Uttarakhand has now become the first state of the country to implement the UCC. Preparations of the Indian Air Force for its mega exercise Vayu Shakti 2024 is to be held on the 17th of February and is presently underway at the Jodhpur Air Force Station in the Indian state of Rajasthan. India's leading politician Sharad Pawar's National Congress Party has been stripped of its election symbol by Election Commission of India. The symbol has been allocated to political faction of his nephew Ajit Pawar. A remarkable initiative aimed at empowering women and fostering self-reliance was organized in Northern India's Udhampur. The program also aimed at protecting the planet from plastic as women stitched jute bags for a greener future. At the second edition of the start of the India Energy Week in Goa, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday announced that $67 billion are required to expand the nation's natural gas supply chain over the next 5 to 6 years. India's Anti-Money Laundering Agency Enforcement Directorate has filed a complaint against Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. The complaint was filed for skipping its summons for the 5th time in connection with a money laundering probe related to irregularities in the Delhi excise policy. 11 people were killed and over 200 others were injured after a major fire broke out in a firecracker factory in Harda town in Indian state of Madhya Pradesh. Indian Vice President Jagdeep Thankar attended the centenary ceremony of the Indraprastha College for Women on Wednesday. The historic college was founded in the year 1924. President Draupadi Murmu on Wednesday took a ride in Delhi Metro and interacted with school students. This was the first time Draupadi Murmu took a ride in the metro after assuming the office as the president. The Indian market traded with ups and downs throughout the day. Sensex fell 34 points and closed at 72,152. Nifty closed flat while Nifty Bank rose 127 points. In India, mobile phone manufacturing has increased by more than 1,700%, which is an estimated 3,50,000 crore rupees in the year 2022-23. Chinese authorities have announced a raft of measures to aid stock market in the past few days after Chinese stocks plunged to 5-year lows last week. Hong Kong shares seesawed but finished the morning session slightly lower. Hang Seng Index edged down 0.1%. The US dollar remained under pressure on Wednesday after retreating from a nearly 3-month high against the euro in the previous session. China's Zhongzhou Commercial Bank has halted operations with Russia, which is a key settlement channel for Russian importers, as per newspaper reports. Sri Lankan president expressed confidence that the nation was recovering from its worst financial crisis in decades, expects to implement a debt restructuring framework within the first 6 months of 2024. Google to pay $350 million to settle shareholders' data privacy lawsuit. Tech giant Google agreed to pay $350 million to settle the lawsuit. The lawsuit by shareholders was related to a security bug, as it is now defunct Google Plus social media website. Bolivia's government signed a deal on Tuesday for $350 million in financing from the Export-Import Bank of China to build the South American country's first zinc processing plant. Israel's military said on Wednesday that its troops killed dozens of terrorists across Gaza in the past 24 hours, with fighting focused in Khan Yunis. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in Israel on Wednesday as the United States was reviewing a response from Hamas to hostage deal proposal. In a joint news conference in Doha on Tuesday with Qatari Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, Blinken said that there is still a lot of work to be done, but we continue to believe that an agreement is possible. Qatari Prime Minister and Foreign Minister said Hamas has given a promising reply to a proposed deal for the release of the hostages. The U.S. House of Representatives rejected a Republican-led bill on Tuesday that would provide $17.6 billion as aid to Israel. Yemen's Houthi rebels on Tuesday claimed responsibility for a missile attack on Red Sea, causing damage to the ships. The Iranian ambassador to the United Nations denied that his country is arming the Houthis as the Yemen-based rebels continue to take aim at vessels in the Red Sea. The United States accused Russia of firing at least 9 North Korean-supplied missiles at Ukraine at UN Security Council meeting on Tuesday. Russia's UN ambassador Vasilisa Nebenzia accused Washington of direct involvement in the Russia-Ukraine war and said that the state is a direct accomplice in this crime as well. Ukraine's air defense system shot down 29 missiles and 15 drones launched by Russia on Wednesday. 2 people died and over 10 were injured in the Russian attack. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky ordered the creation of a separate branch of Ukraine's armed forces devoted to drones, which is a key part of the conduct of war against Russia. Zelensky pointed to drones and domestic production with partner nations as key elements in conducting war against Russia since Moscow's invasion 2 years ago this month. In a bid to shore up stalling support for Kyiv, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz will visit Washington this week to highlight Europe's efforts to help Ukraine. Scholz's trip comes amid uncertainty over U.S. support for Ukraine, with Congress stalling over Biden's urgent request in October to approve an additional $61 billion. A federal appeals court on Tuesday said that former U.S. President Donald Trump does not have immunity from charge that he plotted to overturn his 2020 election defeat. The 5th session of the 9th Parliament of Sri Lanka was inaugurated by President Ranil Wickremesinghe on Wednesday. Plans for economic revival in the first 6 months of the year were also unveiled. 2 blasts on Wednesday near electoral candidate's office in Pakistan's southwestern province of Balochistan killed 26 people and injured dozens. Pakistan is tightening security and setting up voting stations as a South Asian country goes to the polls on Thursday in a widely watched election that will lead to the formation of a new government. 3 Senegalese opposition lawmakers were arrested on Tuesday amid fallout from Parliament's move to delay a presidential vote by 10 months that prompted West Africa's economic and political bloc to call for the re-establishment of electoral calendar. Colombia's government and National Liberation Army rebels have agreed to extend a landmark truce deal that expired last week. The Brazilian city of Rio de Janeiro has declared dengue as a health emergency just days ahead of a carnival where thousands are expected to party outdoors. In Spain, farmers blocked traffic on several major highways and burned tires on Tuesday, joining colleagues in other European countries protesting against high costs, bureaucracy and competition from non-European nations. At least 10 people were killed and many injured in blast at a popular open-air market in Mogadishu, Somalia. Chilean ex-president Sebastián Piñera, who served 2 terms and was also a billionaire businessman, died in a helicopter crash on Tuesday at the age of 74. 3 other people aboard the aircraft survived. The Philippines defense chief said that he aims to boost military presence and infrastructure in the country's northmost province near Taiwan. Amid intense cold wave conditions across India's Himachal Pradesh, visuals of fresh snowfall at the Atal Tunnel in Rohtang is going viral on social media. With predictions of snowfall throughout the state of Himachal Pradesh for the next 2 days, the Regional Meteorological Centre in Shimla issued an orange alert for the state. Peruvian emergency officials have recovered the bodies of those who died in a landslide in central Yunnan, a province of Satipo, after heavy rains lashed the region. A severe rainfall caused power outages and water shortages in Holbox, Mexico, leaving tourists without power and water. The severe Mexican rainfall caused multiple power outages and material losses. However, no fatalities or injuries were reported. Southern California experienced heavy rainfall, leaving flooded streets, mudslides and debris on Tuesday. Flood watch was in effect for much of Southern California, with flash flood warnings posted for the Orange County coast and flood advisories issued as far as south of San Diego and the U.S.-Mexico border. A seaside apartment complex faced evacuation in Isla Vista, Santa Barbara County due to a cliffside collapse that prompted by days of unprecedented rainfall in Southern California. A state of emergency was issued in the municipality of Cape Breton in Nova Scotia, Canada, after extensive snowfall caused widespread paralysis in the area. Chile experienced a devastating wildfire that has killed at least 131 people in recent days, with only 35 identified victims and hundreds missing. Uganda is considering introducing breeding facilities for lions in 3 selected national parks to increase populations. World Animal Protection, a global animal welfare charity in the United Kingdom, says captive breeding has failed before and instead left animals in poor health. The Mexico-Maya train project is raising concerns among environmental experts about potential damage to unique ecosystems. Mexican president says train project will bring significant economic benefits to long impoverished rural communities in Mexico's southeast. Australia will introduce laws giving workers the right to ignore unreasonable calls and messages from their bosses outside of work hours. A majority of senators have declared support for the legislation in Australia. Law will include potential fines for employers that breach the rule. Britain's Prince William returned to public duty on Wednesday following his father, King Charles, who was diagnosed with cancer, and his wife, Kate's surgery. The CEO of cancer charity Maggie's, Dame Laura Lee, said on Tuesday that King Charles' openness about his cancer diagnosis is a gift to his family and others. Scientists predict hundreds of billions of sea stars will appear in parts of the United States this spring, marking the first time since 1803. Saudi Arabia will host a new elite tennis exhibition featuring Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal. The Icon of the Seas, the world's largest cruise ship, docked in Quintana Roo, Mexico, is capable of 8,000 passengers and is set to sail from Miami. Carnival revelers in Rio de Janeiro are preparing for the world's largest carnival. Locals and tourists are swarming shops to buy colorful costumes for the massive celebration that attracts tourists from across the world. In China, visitors enjoy contemporary lanterns infused with elements from popular online game King of Glory at National Heritage Park. In China, a record 9 billion journey for their hometowns to celebrate the Lunar New Year with their families. American fiction actors Jeffrey Wright and Sterling K. Brown and director Cord Jefferson said in an interview that they hope the film's 5 Oscar nominations will help usher in change in the Hollywood. Filmmaker David Leitch has been roped in to direct the new Jurassic World movie that is slated for release on the 2nd of July 2025. To retain the authenticity of the previous films, David Coabe, the original screenwriter of Jurassic Park, has been brought in to write the script. Actor Gina Carano sued Walt Disney for wrongful termination from Star Wars series The Mandalorian in a lawsuit. Carano argued in the suit that she was fired in 2021 for voicing conservative opinions on social media platforms, including Twitter, now owned by Musk. Singer-composer Shankar Mahadevan penned a gratitude note on his Instagram account after winning the Best Global Music Album award for his band Shakti at Grammys 2024. Adarsh Sharma, star of the Kerala story, is all set to begin its OTT journey and is set to release on C5 on the 16th of February. After 11 years of marriage, former Bollywood actress Esha Deol and husband Bharat Takhtani announced their divorce, calling separation as an amicable move. Hrithik Roshan, star of Fighter, collects a little over $2 billion in 13 days with mixed response from both the audience and the critics. Indian actor Randeep Huda's directorial debut Satyantra Veer Savarkar is going to be released on the 22nd of March. India's Union Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports Anurag Singh Thakur today inaugurated 2024 Delhi Olympics. India's pacer Jasprit Bumrah climbed the top of the Test bowling rankings for the first time. India enters fifth consecutive final of the Under-19 Cricket World Cup. India will tour Zimbabwe for the 5-match T20I series in July. New Zealand eased to a comprehensive victory over an inexperienced South Africa side by 281 runs. Former Australia captain Ricky Ponting appointed as the head coach of Washington Freedom. Saudi Arabia will host a new elite tennis exhibition tournament featuring Novak Djokovic. The top court in global sport will hear the appeal of former Wimbledon and Roland Garros champion Simona Halep. Mozart Amari scored a brilliant curling strike to stun two-time winner South Korea and send Jordan into their first final. An African Footballer of the Year, Victor Osimhen, is in doubt for Nigeria's Africa Cup of Nations. And with this, it's a wrap here on Express News for now, but news and updates will continue here in DD India. So don't go anywhere. Keep watching and keep tracking DD India for all latest news and updates. Thank you so much for joining us right now. Namaskar.